Alright, motherfuckers. Or fuckers, or... I don't know what I should call you guys, considering no one watches my channel. But, One Piece tier list. I figured now is the time. New year, 1,000 episodes, plus new movies, like Movie Red, coming out August 26th, I think? I don't know. That means me, the biggest nerd here in my apartment, and all of my friends, about One Piece. So I will do a tier list video on all of these in one sitting. No, not in one sitting. But I have nothing else to do except go shopping and just general cleaning. But you know what? I'm gonna put that off because it's cold outside. 12 degrees. Very cool. So, arcs. Why not? Do we need... No, nothing's bad. I'm glad they don't have the worst fucking arc. East Blue. How far is East Blue? East Blue arc. 61 episodes. Cool. So I guess this was all the way up until fucking right before Chopper. So they had 5 members in the crew. This was cool because obviously it's like the first season, first few, or no, 13 total, yeah, no, arcs, yeah, it's not seasons, got it. Buggy D-Clown, that theory. If anyone doesn't watch One Piece, probably won't understand what I'm talking about when I make weird jokes and shit, or just at all. But hey, Buggy D-Clown, luckiest character in the show. It's the will of D, destiny, keeping him going. No, I definitely like how they introduced, like, definitely the, I don't know. It's been so long since I've watched East Blue. But from what I remember, it got me hooked on the show, for sure. Like, I really enjoyed Buggy. I like the power scaling, but with the fruits, you know, like just introducing all the cool stuff. They introduced the goals, like, right off the bat. I mean, just them heading into the Grand Line, definitely an A. Like, that one scene when they're on the boat, and they all put their foot on the barrel, and they're like, you know, I'm gonna do this, like, I'm gonna set out to do this dream, kind of thing. And then they're working towards it. Pretty cool. There's a lot. Syrup Village, Morgan, Alvida. Logetown was in this one, yeah? Yeah, Logetown was in this one. That was cool. So definitely A. Drum Island. Okay, so Drum Island was with, like, Chopper and the Santaville and the Lapons, I think is what they're called, the bunnies. I really enjoyed fucking Clover's backstory with Chopper, because, yeah. This is like the one time I want to ramble, but then I don't know what to ramble about, because there's so much to do. Okay, so Nami got sick with some fever, had to come to this island. Dictatorship, essentially, where Wapol ate the one fruit where he could eat anything, the Chomp Chomp fruit, and then his little dictatorship was like he took all the doctors in this land, and only select people could use them if they, like, paid a lot of money or some shit. Pretty cool. I'm gonna also put, I don't know, I mean, it wasn't, like, the best. Like, introduced Chopper, yeah, really cool. It wasn't bad, because I like the storyline and how it gets reintroduced later. Like, Wapol is still relevant in the show. But I gotta say, it's not my most, like, memorable thing, for sure. Now, Barrack Works, on the other hand, I mean, that's good. I mean, that's almost S tier because they introduced the whole. There's so much going on in Barrack Works. They introduced the fucking Warlord system, I believe. I don't think they introduced it in Drum Island. Barrack Works is where they introduced it, and that was a blast. I really enjoyed Crocodile. Crocodile's still relevant, like literally all the way up until Summit War. I don't. Yeah, yeah, Summit War. Oh, 7 Warlord systems introduced. Whole like revolution against the kingdom. This whole arc is relevant up until Wano and like Reverie Wano bit. Like this whole area is like still relevant. For sure. Kavivi was really cool. I don't think. I mean, they would have been cool if she joined the crew. Spoilers. But I mean, there's really no reason for her to, unless it was just like a whole bit with like fucking Odin joining their crew. But he actually had something to like offer. She didn't really have anything except for like diplomacy, just being fun to be around. But I definitely enjoyed that because they introduced Robin, Crocodile, the Warlord system, essentially, and just immediately like how rigged it is. They got more of Smoker in here. You see how he's like, and they showed in Drum, or no, East. They showed in East Blue, where it was like, it's rigged, but like, there's some good guys, and then they really showed it. They're like, oh, this is kind of rigged. Ace. Ace is in here. Wonderful. Definitely S tier for sure. Skypia. I'm torn between S and A because so Skypia, I guess they're combining the Jaya arc with it. Jaya's like only like 20 episodes, I think. I don't remember. But they introduced like Blackbeard. They introduced like the whole Nolan group from like North Blue, I guess, like the descendants of Nolan. And then they hint that Sanji isn't from fucking the South Blue or whatever. He's like from the North. Oh god, don't quote me on that. I'm North. North is the strongest, so he's from the North. Okay. That's really cool, because you're just like, oh, okay, I don't know how that makes sense later. Over here. Anyways. Enel, our like first. I mean, yeah, like Crocodile was bad enough, but like Lightning, and they introduced Hockey in a sense. Like we didn't know what Hockey was back then, but Mantra was like a weaker form of Hockey for his subordinates, but he actually like had Hockey. Anaru or whatever. I'm gonna say S, because I really like the lore with Nolan and fucking starts with a K, I think. The one tribesman or whatever. I really like their backstory and how they became friends. The whole Golden Bell. Enel's fruit is just broken. It's great. Really cool character. Not the only character with a god complex, but he has the power to prove it. So it's, very cool. Yeah, overall, this was really fun because Davy back fight. I think, okay, they're skipping, like, the filler bits, it looks like, or it's combined with Skypia. I guess it's combined. I'll combine it with Skypia, so they, like, leave on the fucking, like, squid, or whatever. The inflatable balloon squid, which is, like, the same thing Roger's crew did. It's really cool. Seeing the similarities between everyone. Definitely S tier. So then we got Davy back fight. I mean, let's be honest, it's a filler, I'm pretty sure. It's nearly a filler. I don't remember why it's not a filler. He comes back like once or twice in the show for comedic purposes, really. They almost snatch fucking Robin and Chopper. I don't remember who else they almost get. His fruit's cool, and they gave the True kind of trouble. They give us boxing Luffy, like Afro Luffy, but it's definitely, I don't know. It's not. I don't. Yeah. I think it's D. I never look back on it. I'll be honest with you. I never referenced it at all. Even when I'm joking, there's better things to poke fun. Well, this is probably good. It's good to poke fun at this one. D for Davy back. It wasn't a whole lot for Foxy. Oh, I forgot. Leb. No, no. Leave me alone. Laboon wasn't in this one yet. All right. Water 7. Definitely up here. It's got to be S tier again because they get to Water 7. They introduce another new member. Robin's like still technically a member, but like within this arc, she becomes like a full-fledged member of the Straw Hat crew. There's like the internal like conflictions of the crew between Usopp and Luffy. Zoro had a bit in there, like, hey, like, you can't disrespect the captain like that, so you need to check yourself. um, yeah, and this is when they introduced like a whole new thing. So like in the past they introduced the fucking warlord system, and so now they have like this secret organization, like the whole CP number, like CP 0 through 9 or whatever organizations, and then like the 3 main government buildings, and oh, they introduced all the cool stuff. Fuck, I forgot about Barrack Works. Barrack Works, little garden, great. It's like they had a couple giants. Everything was huge there. They met like their first giant like crew, and then that became relevant into Water 7 because Usopp remembered the names of the giants because he looks up to them as like brave warriors of the sea, yeah? And so these marines had tricked the giant pirates there that because they have a long lifespan, so like, hey, guard this government building and we'll set your friends free kind of thing. And then they lied. And so Usopp told them, and they're like, hey, they're alive and well, not captured by the marines or whatever, so you're good. We learned more about the like poneglyph weapons, how Frankie had access to the Pluton blueprints. We learned about I guess we also learned that in Barrack Works. We could put devil fruits not only in people but in items because they put it in that fucking the bazooka got the dog Dachshund fruit whatever model. And then what's his bucket Spandam got a fucking like elephant in his sword. Really cool. But is a weak fucking character, so I don't know. They introduced easily 7. Luffy got new gears. Like Luffy introduced Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd just to defeat Rob Lucci. Like without those gears, Luffy would have lost. They all would have lost. Zoro lost his sword to fucking Rust Man, and then he's never seen again. Like his only purpose in the show was to just destroy one of Zoro's swords, and then just like disappear. How wild is that? Like, he's broken. He can destroy any sword fucking fighter. They get a new ship, new crew. I mean, Going Mary's really sad, but then they get the Thousand Sunny. What else am I missing? Oh, the water train, or whatever. The water train's really cool. Sea train. Really cool. Definitely S tier for sure. Thriller Bark. I'm gonna say, I don't know. I'm torn between A and S. Because, again, we had a new crew member. Brooke. Later on, you kind of like find out, his backstory is really sad. You meet Laboon. Well, you meet Laboon back in before Drum Island. I was right. Drum Island is when you meet Laboon. Or Barrack Works. It's one of these two. And then you're like, oh, we've met Laboon. He's well. That's really cool. He can't die. He's cool. Gecko Moria again becomes relevant later in the show. Uh, his fruit's overpowered at this point, and then like they introduce like there's really good fight scenes, obviously. So like they like kind of tell you, they kind of explore like what different like how different devil fruit abilities work. Like Warrior's fruit can affect anyone, even with devil fruit abilities, which is like kind of like hinting at like what other devil fruits could do to each other. Blackbeard's. Anyways, we met Blackbeard. Oh my god, we met Blackbeard in Skypia. Did I say that already? I don't remember. We met Blackbeard. You have no idea who he is. You met Doc Q, I think. I don't think you met Burgess. Burgess? I don't think you met him there. I don't. Maybe you did. Maybe you did meet. Yeah, we did. Yeah, because the auger sniper guy shot that one seagull, and the bird died, and Chopper and them saw it. So long ago. No, Thriller Bark is really cool. They introduced 2 more warlords. Excuse me. They introduced Gecko Moria, Shadow Guy, the whole island theme. His boat was an island, but it was also like full of zombies, and it was like always had this own atmosphere because the fruit was affected by sunlight. So it's kind of cool. And then, well, briefly, kind of. Anyways, and then they introduced Kuma. So like after just defeating this warlord, and they're all like fucked up. Like Luffy's unconscious. They're all like fucking gone. And then Kuma comes out of nowhere. And then you like learn more. Like again how rigged, like how awful the system is. Because Kuma doesn't finish them off. He like makes a deal. Like he's hiding something. He's clearly there to, throw everyone around or keep Gecko Moria in check, but he's not obligated to do anything else. So, you're like, huh, Kuma, interesting. Not necessarily a bad guy, but you don't know his intentions yet. And he becomes relevant later in the show. Speaking of, becomes relevant in the next bit. He's relevant in these 3 arcs, and then later in Reverie. I would say overall A. Well, I did really enjoy it, but I first put it A. I don't think I could put it S, because I really like Kuma. This is S tier. This is S tier. Sabity. It's really good. Like the tensions are climbing up. Everyone's getting through, and this is the checkpoint essentially right before the New World, where the whole rest of the fucking arcs are essentially a New World. You meet former vice captain or whatever, Rayleigh, Silvers, whatever, Roger's crew. You meet a bunch of the new like the worst generation pirates that are along with Luffy and Zoro, and bounties exceeding 100 million. They all have awesome devil fruit abilities. Like they're so cool. They all become relevant later in the show, or like immediately after. You introduce. Oh, I forgot more about the admirals. They introduce admirals back in Barrack Works, because you meet Aokiji back in like Little Garden or some shit. Not Little Garden, maybe a bit before. It was with Robin. Yeah. So at some point between Barrack Works and Skypia, I think you meet one of the admirals. Overpowered. They don't stand a chance. Sabity, you meet the other one. You meet Kizaru. At this point, you've met Garp. Garp is way back then. So they're all strong. Most of them are good. Kizaru's funny. He's like neutral good. I mean, lawful neutral. Really doesn't care. But, right. So, like the auction house, you meet like additional fishmen. Like you meet fucking squid guy. I forget his name. Hachi. And, fuck. I forget the mermaid's name. I'm sure it'll come back later. And then yeah, so we got the auction house. You got like the whole Sabbaty archipelago bit. You know, it's all prep work, and then disaster strikes when the Marines. No, when Luffy punches the fuck out of a celestial dragon. Yeah, I mean, he either had two choices, essentially, which was A, like, don't mess with the celestial dragons, and you can move on to the new world just fine, or you mess with them, save your friend, and then suffer the consequences. And he chose that, because he is a chaotic, good character. He's going to do what is right for him and his people, and fight the consequences. And they did just that, because they introduced, oh, it's Kuma, but it's not Kuma. Oh, it's another government thing. Human weapons, cyborgs, like Frankie, but better, because they can shoot lasers, and they're all strong. Like, each crew member alliance struggles for a bit. And then the real Kuma comes out, and they, again, this whole thing's spoilers. If you haven't watched One Piece, go watch it, come back, see if you agree with me. This video will see like one person, so have fun listening to me ramble for like 40 minutes. No, definitely S tier. There's a lot that happen. They zip everyone away. Like, again, really good character development with Luffy, and like just generally the rest of the crew. And then, yeah, the whole crew splits up at the end, and then there's more backstory, I think. So like during this time between Barrack Works and Sabbaty, Ace we meet earlier, and then Blackbeard you meet in the Skypia arc. Ace has been hunting down Blackbeard because Blackbeard killed one of his own crewmates on a previous ship, and then they end up fighting. Very cool. I don't know who won. Well, I guess we'll figure that out in the Summit War arc. You find out who. Blackbeard wins against Ace because he eats the devil fruit he killed Thatch for, the darkness, for the Yami Yami no Mi. You introduce another government building, so you've already been to Eni's lobby, and then now you have the fucking like gate door or whatever. Is it the gate door? The justice door? And then there's Impeldown. So all three. So Luffy's been to all three at this point. This is like maybe episode 400. This is like the halfway point in the show. 400, 500-ish. Luffy, they all get teleported every other place. Luffy gets kind of lucky being, again, with the 7 Warlord system, and Hancock's Island. And they infiltrate the like world's most secure like prison, which only a few people have escaped from. They keep all these top tier people down there. It's like shopping for crewmates in this arc. It's kind of cool. Yeah. So like during this point, while they're infiltrating to get Ace out, Ace gets moved or something. Like they get down there and then Ace isn't there because they moved him. And now they gotta break out. And you meet all the new characters, like Buggy's back. You got Mr. 3 from fucking Barrack Works. You got Crocodile, Barrack Works. You got Ivankov, which introduces like the revolution bit, like the revolution against the government. A pre-existing warlord, Jinbei, who's held down there for treason. I don't remember why he was down there. It's been a while. So like during this point, they're all gathering to get out, and then at the head marine, like the marine base, Marineford, they have the giant war that breaks out, and all of Whitebeard's like 50 alliance, like 50 crewmate, 50 ship member alliances, each captain with their own crew, and then the Marines with the 3 admirals, the warlords that show up, a shit ton of vice admirals. I mean, they have home turf. They have home turf. But Whitebeard's strong. He is. I mean, he has the second highest bounty in the show, so pretty cool. Aside from Rocks, but I don't. I can't. Rocks is higher than Whitebeard, but you don't know Rocks yet. Ignore that. Yeah. I mean, I could just talk on and on about it. They introduced like Delverford abilities, more character, like you know more about the characters there. The plot kind of twists here and there. Like everyone gets a character development bit. Like Whitebeard, Garp, Luffy, Ace. I mean, like everyone changes after the Summit War arc, and it's, I mean, obviously the most notable, like one of the most notable bits in One Piece. It's, you can't put it at S tier. Fishman Island. I don't know. I mean, it's not S, because it's really hard to top like these three put together. To be honest with you, Fishman Island, probably A or B. I mean, it's after the time skip. They're overpowered. They can fight the pacifistas just fine. They learn hockey. It's like that invisible force that you'd see here and there throughout the show. You meet Kuma and why he was like acting special towards you guys in Thriller Bark. Really cool. You just get a lot of story lore because everyone gets zipped around the world due to Kuma's ability, and so they all train in these random spots across the globe, and then have to come back together for the crew after 2 years. So, I mean, is that part of the Summit War? Like, is there still technically a Summit War? Or is that Fishman Island? It's probably Fishman Island arc. So it's not B, because they introduce everyone, new powers, new abilities. Like, they kind of just throw everything at you at once, but like kind of in a good way, because you're like, oh, 2 years should be meant for something, and it was. You learn more about the Fishman pirates, so like Nami gets more like, you know, like, where did Arlong come from? Like, oh, they came from here. Okay, here's Arlong's backstory, kind of bit. And Jinbei, and you learn about the other secret weapon, Poseidon, which is not a physical thing, but is a bloodline trait in the Fishman Kingdom, the Ryugyu Kingdom. So like Noah's Ark or whatever, and the ability to talk to Sea Kings. So you have two. You have two fucking weapons or whatever discovered in the show, which is really cool. And huh? Yeah, I would say A. I don't think it's S tier, but I definitely enjoyed for like what it introduced. Again, the fights were good, but I was definitely there for the story, like just learning more about the world and characters than the actual like these had really good fights and storytelling, but this was more just to like update everyone and like kind of throw out everything they can do, so then when they introduce it later in the show they can like put more detail into it without explaining how they did all that stuff. Yeah, overall pretty cool. Yeah, I don't necessarily remember anything else that happens in the. Oh, I do. So Whitebeard dies. Yeah, at this point in the show, and so the 4 emperors have territories throughout the globe. So when he dies, obviously those territories are going to be covered by another emperor, and this is where they introduce Big Mom, and she had taken territory over this island, and they have to like give her candy or some shit, and then Luffy eats all the candy after saving the island, and then declares like war on Big Mom. Very cool. Yeah, very cool. Again, relevant later in the show. Um, right. Okay. Punk Hazard. This was a hodgepodge full of stuff. I mean, I don't think it's S tier, but it's definitely A tier. These are all very close together. Davy Back doesn't even count, and Drum Island's cool and all, but I mean, yeah, I've already explained why. Punk Hazard, we get new alliances going. Like we're like starting to roll for like the bigger end game stuff in the show. So like Luffy makes his alliance with Law. Law's really cool. He also has the D in his name, so that two like an alliance members with the letter D, the will of D. I mean, that's up to trouble. You introduce the samurai and their like little plots. Whew. And you learn more about that, and learn more about Vegapunk and like his creations, and then the devil fruit. Like I mean, you this is the arc. So shit, maybe it is A, because this is the runner up. This sets everything in the future in motion. It's like pretty sad, but it's good. Um, yeah, they introduce Dressrosa really well. They get like the whole artificial devil fruits is a big plus. They like hint that I haven't read the manga. I'd rather you not correct me if I'm wrong. But maybe Kaido's fruit was artificially created because Kaido has the same fruit look as Momonosuke, but it's also a fish. I don't know. I read that at one point. I thought it was funny. Yeah, Punk Hazard definitely had a lot of responsibility for setting up the future arcs. Like literally the rest of these arcs are set up to Punk Hazard, and I think it did pretty well. At least introducing up to Dressrosa. Dressrosa A or S tier. Sorry. I mean, again, another fine example of a corrupt warlord system. Like it's so corrupt, and the Marines easily overlook it. And I'm glossing over so many details. Like Aokiji left at this point after the war, and so did Sengoku, and then a bunch of other people came in. Like there's a new admiral because if Aokiji left, and Sakazuki went up to become fleet admiral to replace Sengoku, they gotta bring in new faces. So they bring in Fujitora, Purple Tiger, Gravity Guy. He's blind. Which doesn't make him any weaker. In fact, it probably makes him stronger. So, that's logic. Yeah. Dofi's crew, and like how he's a celestial dragon at one point. Like, literally just chaos. He's just chaotic evil. He's literally there just to rule the world as he pleases. Because he's in the right, always. Devil Fruit Awakenings are in the show. Gear 4th. You introduce all these new pirates and crews. Ace's Devil Fruit is brought into the show. Like, into this arc. Again, the marine system. It's not perfect for both good and bad reasons. Yeah, Dressrosa sets up essentially for like the rest of the arc. They set up for Zhao and Wano, which is great. Yeah. So bigger alliances, everyone's rolling together. So this might have sucked. Sub more would have sucked. But as Punk Hazard Dressrosa continues, the Straw Hat crew continues to gain a lot of alliance members going. I mean, they're rolling up high with members. Zhao. So this is where everything gets confusing. So like, they split, I think. No, everyone is here in Dressrosa, I think. Yeah, yeah, everyone here is Dressrosa. Zao and Whole Cake, right? So these are essentially like two of the same. I really liked Whole Cake more, but Zao was good. I'll do this later. You introduced the Minx, a whole new race. Dressrosa, you introduced a whole new race as well. I'm trying to think of where. Let's see. New race. No. Yes. No. Mm. No. 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 Yeah. Okay. Well. Anyways, a new race, like another new race, the Minx. Yeah, they also introduced a race in Savity for sure. And then the Minx are cool. They introduced like, again, the whole story time is like rolling up. They figure out, they're like, oh, we're looking for another, like, the samurai looking for a man named Raizo, a ninja, and how this island is a moving, like, this country is on the back of an elephant that is, like, thousands of years old or hundreds of years old. Very cool. And it only listens to the Kozuki clan, which you learn about, which Momonosuke is, like, the heir to, and that, like, the samurai, like Kiyamon and so are the retainers. Very cool. And you learn that Dressrosa, you thought Doflamingo was hard. No, no, no. He's like the broker for this devil fruit, for the devil fruits, and sells them to Kaido, the big like the one of the four emperors. Uh, yeah, pretty wild. So Jack tears up this island, and Kaido's crew is really cool because like almost all of them have zone type devil fruits. No, they all have zone type devil fruits, the important ones. I'm trying to remember when Zao ends. I think it's when they beat essentially Jack's crew. Jack's little like member. Beat within quotation marks because he comes back. He isn't dead. I would say overall, it brings a little, it brings more story. Like it's just there, because this is when the crew splits up from Dressrosa. They split half the crew into Zao, and then Whole Cake. Yeah, because I don't think everyone's there at Whole Cake. I don't think Zoro's at Whole Cake, is he? I don't remember, to be honest with you. Okay, Whole Cake. S. Another gear. Just right off the bat, another gear for Luffy. They introduced, like, fucking future hockey. Like, observation hockey, like, to the max. Like, to its best potential. It's broken. The mirror world's really cool. Big Mom's, like, whole territory, country system is cool. Like, her fruit is so overpowered. Like, there's, like, no limit. The whole damn thing is full of souls and things. And oh, it's broken. All of their sons and children are, like, essentially they're good enough pirates to, like, they could probably all start their own crews if they wanted to and be fine. More character development for, like, some of the characters. Like, Carrot gets, like, really good character development in the show due to Pedro. Yeah, there's, like, internal conflict between fucking Sanji and Luffy, and then you got more of an alliance going. This time it's between Beige and Luffy, which is kind of cool. My throat kind of hurts. I kind of want to stop talking, but I'm almost done. Yeah, OK Island was really cool. They introduced Germa, so like this is when they finally introduce way back when in fucking Skypiea. We're like, oh, I'm not actually from the east or whatever. Or from the South Blue. I'm from north. Or did he say? He said he is from south, but he's not actually born. I don't remember where. It's been so long. He is North Blue because it's Vinsmoke. Vinsmoke family, they're scientists. They're like engineered to be good. Sanji has like brothers and sisters. Brothers, one sister. They're named after numbers. Ichi's like 3 or San is 3 in Japanese. Cool. This is like Ichi, Nichi, Sanji, Raiju? Something? No. There's a fourth one. There's a fifth one. No. 4. There's a red guy, green guy, blue guy. Okay, that is 5. Okay. Judge. So you learn Sanji's backstory and like Whole Cake. It's technically like the Germa. Like Germa's part of it, but it's whatever. S tier for sure. You learn a lot. There's a lot that happens in this bit, but it's definitely worth it. Reverie. This is like, again, like another update bit. So not a whole lot happens in this. Actually, it does. A lot happens in this. But we're gonna put it at A for now until I guess I further explain it. So like, if I remember correctly, this is when all the world government leaders that pay tribute in order to like get that protection from the government. So it's like 50 over 50 countries or some shit, and then they all come together like once a year, once every 4 years or something, and they discuss what's wrong, and they like finally pass something where they get rid of the warlord system, like it's gone, because 2 whole countries have suffered from it, and other countries have also suffered from like pirate use, and just the Marines not doing anything about to help it, which is crazy. So it upsets the whole world. It's absolutely wild. It gets like this point in the arc is where the revolution, like dragons revolution bit, infiltrates the Reverie, and you find out that Kuma has been turned into like a slave or whatever. Very upsetting. And then also I think in the Reverie arc, their headquarters gets attacked by Burgess and like his crew. So the revolutionary headquarters have been destroyed. You don't hear much from them at this moment. It just kind of, it's another update bit, so it's pretty cool. And then I'm sure I'm forgetting so much because my voice hurts, and I just love to talk about stuff. One Piece wise, Wano's easily S tier. Fucking love Wano. Odin's easily one of the coolest characters. Same thing with Kaido. Like I hate Kaido, but like I love him because I hate him because I love him. I don't know. He's cool. He sets up literally like his whole greediness for just wanting to destroy the world. Sets up essentially the like Dressrosa, Punk Hazard. Like he probably even had some influence like during the Summit War. I mean, he had influence Zhao. He had influence like nearly for most, like half of these arcs. A little less than that, but a lot of influence, and the arc's still going. Like you introduce again like a ton of Devil Fruit zone types, which is cool to like just think about that there's a bunch of like just models and stuff, and there's dinosaurs, like more dinosaurs, and you get a lot new like more pirate crew updates, like Hawkins, Apu. Well, these were in between here and there, but more updates: Apu, Hawkins, Kid, Law, Luffy, like huge updates. You get Kaido, Big Mom. Was Reverie or Wano? I don't remember. But one of these enters God Valley and fucking, I think it's Wano. Wano introduces the back backstory for I said it earlier, Rocks Quebec or whatever, Rocks D Quebec, Quebec D Rocks. I don't know. He's the pirate captain at one point, and in his crew had Big Mom, Kaido, and who am I forgetting? I don't know who I'm forgetting. Had someone else in it. Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, Lord. All three of them at one point, and they were just brutal. Like it was just, yeah, great pirate crew. Their devil fruits are cool. The animation kicks it off literally like it just gets better. But Wano, so good. That's so vibrant, and I'm really glad that it's vibrant, because otherwise, if it was dull and like kind of like shabbily looking like East Blue, no offense, it wouldn't be as cool. It would not be as cool. Animation's on point. You learn a whole lot of new stuff. I don't really want to spoil it, cause like this is old. I mean, that's fine. Wano's like the new stuff. People still aren't like completely caught up with Wano. Some people are reading the manga. I'm choosing not to read the manga. I'll look into it. Like I already know kind of what happens, but I'm just waiting for it to be animated so I know 100% what happens. No, this was for sure Wano's my favorite arc at the moment. Like it always, I mean each arc is probably my favorite, but for sure, Wano's the big thing we've all been looking forward to. Yeah, I could, yeah, this is great. This is my tier list. I don't think I'm gonna change any of these. D for Davy back. I don't think I could put it F. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny, but it's not good. I mean, Afro Luffy might bump it up to a C. That's about it though. All right. There's my One Piece arcs tier list. I mean, as expected, most of them were S tier and A, and there was only like one or two. One of these might, no. I mean, no. Nope. Those are all SA. I don't think I could put Chopper any higher, any lower. Davy Back's definitely not a C. Yeah, there's my tier list. I'm probably gonna make more, just because I don't know what to upload at the moment, other than like an update video of like what I want to do this year, or if I'm actually gonna start editing my videos. Wow, who'd have thought? This video isn't very long enough. I'll make those videos later. This is my arc tier list. Feel free to tell me if you think I'm wrong, and then I'll just make another one. If there's another tier list video you want to make me do and hear me ramble about because I like One Piece, so be it. I'll do it. Alright, thanks for watching.